Renewed hope and cautious optimism tonight in the mysterious disappearance of a Linwood, Kansas teenager 36 years ago. I learned that 2 retired detectives with decades of experience have joined in the search for 17-year-old Randy Leach. He and his car disappeared in 1988. And I've also learned that law enforcement agencies involved in the case have put up a wall around it and will not let these detectives in.
Hey, you guys, you're supposed to get your plate and come over and fill your plate.
Friends gather in Alberta Leach's kitchen.
There's just regular salad or there's a taco lasagna.
But before anyone eats, heads bow for a prayer.
Ask that maybe it's your will that they'll get somebody to talk.
That prayer has been repeated for 36 years.
Either way, help us find Randy. In Jesus' name, pray.
Amen. Thank you, Larry.
Yes, thank you.
Alberta's son hasn't been at the kitchen table since he disappeared in 1988. But the hope that he'll someday return remains a constant conversation.
I hope and pray. Got to. Yeah. Got a place for him, so.
But Randy's case is cold. Alberta and her late husband Harold have been critical of the Leavenworth County Sheriff's Office's investigation from day one.
I've begged him for the cold case.
To set up a cold case unit or some sort of squad or something?
Yeah. And he said, well, we'll get somebody around here. I said, you've had it for 35 years. We need to put new eyes on it.
Now, Alberta is getting those new eyes to review Randy's case, but not from the sheriff's office.
Chance to go through some of that stuff.
2 retired Johnson County detectives are giving their time and expertise. Mark Rockusek is retired from the Johnson County Sheriff's Office, and Joe Langer is retired from the Leawood Police Department. Both have more than 30 years of experience in investigations and solving cold cases.
They're our shining star, but we're very thankful for their help. I can't tell you how much.
She's so thankful because the wall around Randy's case is as impenetrable now as it was back then.
I don't feel like I know any more today than I did in '88 when he disappeared.
Alberta has some records from 1988 to 1993, but the rest is a mystery. Randy's case is still open, which means the sheriff's office will not give Alberta the file, let alone the 41I team or the 2 retired detectives. When Mark and Joe were on the force, they worked with other agencies and even retired officers on cold cases, so they thought the sheriff's office would welcome their expertise on Randy's case. That's not how it turned out. Joe said he and Mark recently met with Sheriff Andy Dedeke, and he denied them access.
The sheriff contacted you and said that basically that they were not going to provide us with their case file.
The KBI won't share any files with the detectives either, telling us it's not their practice to give investigative records to people who aren't in law enforcement.
We're both retired, but we did make it clear that all we wanted to do was help.
Under Sheriff James Shirley declined an interview with KSHB 41, but told us in an email that while they have not engaged in a cold case squad, they have an investigator assigned to Randy's case. He said, quote, the case has new leads or information coming into our office occasionally. Each of these leads is followed up on.
That's the first time I've seen it.
Joe and Mark came to KSHB 41 News and poured over the available records.
I refer to it a lot of times as an audit because that's really what investigators are doing is auditing a case.
They want to see what jumps out at them, read witness statements, and see if they can find those same people today.
People's alliances change after 36 years.
They're going over decades worth of information here in a case where wild rumors swirled for years.
Yeah, obviously this case is unusual. We have a missing young man and his parents' automobile to this day is still missing as well.
Is this solvable?
In my heart, yes.
To retrace Randy's final steps, the detectives need to go back to April 15th, 1988, around 6:45 p.m.
Linwood's a small town, and Stout's convenience store is also kind of a hub of activity and information for a small town.
According to police reports, Randy went to Stout's once, maybe twice that night. Then he went to a body shop in DeSoto to check on the red Mustang he was restoring. Randy swung by his cousin's house. He met up with a friend and eventually ended here.
So over there is where the party was?
Right there. That's where the house was.
According to the police reports, one of Randy's classmates, Kim Irwin, hosted a bonfire that night at her parents' property out on 166th Street in rural Linwood. Randy got there around 10 p.m., driving his mom's car, a gray 1985 Dodge 600 sedan. Although nobody saw him drinking, Randy seemed to be messed up and had a hard time walking, according to people at the party. A few people said Randy mentioned smoking weed before getting there. Around 1:30 a.m., one of Randy's classmates said he left to drive a girl home and would come back to take Randy home. But when the friend came back, he said Randy and his mom's car were gone.
There could have been upwards of 200 people at that party, and not a single person will say that they saw Randy or his car leave here that night.
I mean, there's 5 to 10 different theories on what could have happened.
Alberta and Harold were skeptical of the many stories they heard over the years, ranging from a drug overdose to satanic rituals. The detectives are determined to find the truth.
Your message is whoever was at this party and you haven't said anything, now's the time.
Right.
One of the theories leads here to Golden Road, which runs south of the former Irwin property. It's a possible route Randy could have taken if he'd driven home that night.
If he was going to go home to avoid law enforcement and he was under the influence, he would come possibly a back way.
Another theory is Randy and the car ended up in Stranger Creek, but police searched the creek and parts of the Kansas River and didn't find anything. Over the years, the Leaches had teams search the waterways by boat and underwater. People they knew took up their airplanes to get aerial views. Each time, they came up empty. But Alberta will keep searching.
We keep hoping and praying that somebody will come forward.
Maybe this new search by detectives with a fresh set of eyes and years of experience will finally solve this mystery.
We would like to have the family get some solace after, what has it been, 36 years?
To me, a day is an eternity. I just want to bring Randy home.
In 2017, the Leaches sued Leavenworth County to have Randy's case file released. A judge denied their request the following year. Randy Leach was 17 years old when he disappeared in April 1988. He's 6'2", 220 pounds with brown hair, blue eyes, and a mole on his left earlobe. He was last seen wearing a blue t-shirt, blue jeans, and white tennis shoes. And here's an age-progressed picture of what Randy might look like today. Again, the car he was driving, which is also still missing, was a gray 1985 Dodge 600 four-door sedan, similar to this one you see here, with license plate number LVJ 8721. Anyone who has a tip that will solve this case should call the sheriff or the KBI, and I'll have those numbers in my story on KSHB.com. There's a $5,000 reward. And if you have any information you'd like to share with me or those retired detectives, contact me at sarah@kshb.com. For the I-Team, I'm Sarah Plake.